Hi, Stephen Huer here with Cocoon Nutrition, and I'm going to be talking today about the world's most powerful water technology that I've come across in my 19 years of being a professional nutritional consultant. And the technology that sits on this countertop that you see in the camera, and I'll lift it up for easier viewing. This is called the Electron 5 Water Distiller, and this device is one of several in a series that we sell on our website. The other one's called the Electron 4, and the Electron 4 is the one that I typically advocate people get. But in concept of what this technology does, it mimics what nature does to create the purest water possible. The water is heated to the point of evaporation in this small chamber right here, and the heating and cooling process is where the water will be turned into vapor and then condensed into a tubing system that is collected here in this tube that comes out of the pot. And then this is the tube that I put on the end of it that goes into the 5-gallon glass water container that it distills into. And the other thing that's unique about this is as the water is being heated and evaporated and condensed into moisture again, these two quartz lights actually ionize the water vapor in the atmosphere, and they look like, when you turn it on, that they turn a blue color. And these lights make ozone, small amounts of ozone in this chamber where the water is being evaporated, and that ozonation purifies the water further, and I believe it does something to energize it. And also the multiple times that the water is heated and condensed, and then finally by the time it reaches the point of going through the tubing system that goes through here, it has been heated and cooled enough times that it's permanently changed its bond angle according to the inventor. And that bond angle, it makes a big difference in what this water can do in your body. What it is that typically water will have a bond angle of 104 degrees. And again, the inventor claims that once water has been heated and cooled this many times before it comes out as condensed water, it retains a new bond angle of 114 degrees. And with that new bond angle, there's some very unique things that can happen to your body's fluids that are very favorable when you drink it. And one of them is your blood changes properties and can carry more oxygen. And the other is that it seems to be able to hydrate the body very well when you drink this kind of water. And that is the key to the longevity of the cell. So you've got all these millions of cells that make up your body, and each cell is producing all of its own proteins and energy components and metabolic wastes. And that's one little form of garbage that each cell produces, metabolic wastes. You've also got toxins that come into your body from the environment, whether it's atmospheric smog pollution from automobiles, whether it's heavy metals in the atmosphere from coal-fired power plants in some other part of the world, or whether it's the preservatives that are in food or the dyes that are in food that you've consumed in the past, or drugs that you've consumed in the past, heavy metals you've been exposed to from mercury fillings, any number of different things, or the metabolic waste produced from infections in the body. Those infections can be the yeast or the viral fungal conditions that people's bodies have. All these things are basically toxicities to the cell, and the cell starts to age as soon as it's exposed to toxins, and it then eventually will die. And the better we can hydrate the body and cleanse the cells on a moment-to-moment, day-to-day basis and keep it free of those metabolic wastes, the more eternally youthful the cell will remain. There are many water technologies on the market right now, and I'm going to take some time to show you one that I started working with back in the 90s. And today it's become fairly popular. I was working with it a long time ago, and it does have merit, and I'll introduce that to you in a moment. But the Electron 4 and 5 water distiller is the best tasting water that I've ever had, the water that hydrates my body the best. And when I first drank it, I was in 2004, I was still dealing with some chronic fatigue syndrome symptoms, and I used to do dark field blood analysis, and my blood would frequently be clumped together. And the clumping of the blood indicates you have low oxygen carrying capacity, therefore low energy, tendency to depression, all those factors associated with low oxygen levels. So the first time I drank the water from the Electron 4 distiller, I noticed such a dramatic increase in energy that it was like easy to just crank out 50 push-ups, which I previously was not able to do that easily. So it was very dramatic in terms of improving my blood's ability to carry oxygen. And also I've noticed, unlike all the other waters that I've consumed, whether it's been ionized water, whether it's been reverse osmosis water, whether it's been some other form of water purification, whether through filters, it always ends up going right through my body, so that within 45 minutes I need to go to the bathroom. And with this water, I'm finding that it's good 2 to 4 hours in between needing to go to the bathroom, urinate. So this water is going into the cell structures and into the body so effectively that it's taking its time to go in there, cleanse the cells, and finally work its way back to the kidneys. Okay, so the Electron 4, the Electron 5 distillers have the highest merit in my experience as the best water. The other thing is that a lot of people have been taught to believe that distilled water is a hungry water, and it will steal all your minerals out of your body and therefore make you mineral deficient. And actually that's not necessarily true, because we are designed to consume nutrition day to day and those minerals day to day. And we should be consuming trace minerals to make up for what's no longer in the food supply. The best trace mineral supplement I've found over the years that we carry is called Mineral Magic. And that product has helped people immensely. And gray hair reversing sometimes, gray hair growing in thicker. The man that introduced it to me claimed his diabetes went away from taking that product. Definite increases in mental and physical energy from taking Mineral Magic. And again, over many, many years of working with various trace mineral supplements and muscle testing, I have found that the Mineral Magic has consistently been the most effective and tested the strongest compared to another one that was also a trace mineral supplement that I work with. And so everyone needs to be taking minerals as a supplement to make up for what's not in their food or in the soils anymore. And the body will then use those minerals, make the enzymes, do all the wonderful things it's supposed to do with it, and then excrete it. It's done its job, and the body's going to eliminate it. So the water is necessary to cleanse the body of all its metabolic waste, all its used up, no longer wanted or needed substances. And if you look at Paul Bragg, who wrote the book The Miracle of Fasting, there was a man who had very, very major health issues as a young man or a young boy, and regained his health on snow water fasting, and then continued on as an adult to practice a distilled water fast. Every 3 months, he's fasted 7 to 10 days on distilled water, and throughout his whole life, the only water he drank was distilled water. And he ended up being extremely healthy. When he was in his 90s, he was surfing. So again, there's living proof that the theory that distilled water is bad for you is challenged by the life of Paul Bragg. There is the quality of the distilled water, and I'm not talking about the distilled water that's sold in opaque white plastic bottles in the stores. That would be toxic water from the plastic coming off in the distilled water. And also the bond angle evidently on that kind of distilled water is fairly narrow and is not the most optimum water to drink. So I am making a distinction over that kind of distilled water and this kind of distilled water from the Electron 4 and 5 distillers. Okay, so I'd like to show you some other means of making water and improving its quality in the next phase here.